How many of us are aware of internet and electronic transaction fraud? How many of us care about our online security and potential breach of our personal data? How many of us care about our online behavior and transaction history in general? This presentation is about how we can secure data and prevent fraud in financial transactions using anti-fraud security and risk management technology. Basically, this is an outline of what I'll be talking to you about in this presentation. Internet and electronic transaction fraud, biometric authentication security, payment card security, network security, and security responsibility. I'll conclude with a brief summary of important findings. Internet and internet fraud. Internet and electronic transaction improve work efficiency and productivity through the use of, say, ATM, online bank, and debit and credit card transactions. But the downside is that it also brought about electronic and remote transactions fraud. Cyber criminals and fraudsters can sit behind their computer desks and break network data security or commit transactions fraud without any trace of their whereabouts. The security and risk management technology review in this presentation is to help you gain awareness of electronic and internet fraud, if not to secure your personal data. And biometric authentication technology. Biometric technology involves the use of electronically captured physiological traits such as fingerprints, face, voice, and iris to secure data and information and for purposes of identification, verification, and fraud prevention. We're going to talk more about that. This chart shows that biometric authentications technology, if used in New York State, will help save on Medicaid cost. It is estimated that if biometric authentication technology is applied, New York State will save $5 billion annually on Medicaid cost. And so if you estimate for 5 years, for the first year, as you can see in this pie chart, the first year the state is going to save 7% of Medicaid cost. And then the second year it will save 13%, and by the end of the 5th year the state will be saving 33% on Medicare costs. And I think this is very important for the authorities to consider. The reason this will work or will save the state money is because the technology will help to identify applicants who are legitimately entitled to Medicaid benefits. And so apart from establishing benefit eligibility, it will also eliminate claims of multiple identities, fraudsters who will want to claim Medicaid benefit, or even doctors. So overall, it reduces Medicaid fraud this way through verification, identification, and establishing eligibility. Payment card security. Payment cards such as debit and credit cards are built with different types of security technology. Two common card security technology are EMV chip and PIN and magnetic stripe technology. The EMV chip and PIN uses PIN verification, while the magnetic stripe uses signature verification. The EMV chip and PIN security is commonly used in Europe and Asia, while the magnetic stripe is commonly used in the United States. The magnetic stripe is thought to be less secure than the EMV chip and PIN security technology. Payment card security must be validated by payment card system data security standards, without which it will be considered a card that fraudsters can easily counterfeit. This means that the EMV chip and pin security technology and the magnetic stripe technology are validated by payment card system data security standard. It is thought that the magnetic stripe can easily be erased by fraudsters. Trends in US bank card fraud. From this graph, we can see that beginning in 2004, bank card fraud in the US was 5%. If we look at the graph and how bank card fraud increases over the years, from 2004 to 2010, that is about 70% rate of increase in bank card fraud in the United States alone. Some researchers and experts assert that this happened because the United States payment card industry sticks with magnetic stripe security technology and slowly embraces the EMV chip and pin security technology. But other factors also play, and so it is not the sole reason. Network security. Securing a network over which electronic transactions take place is an important step if we want to prevent fraudulent financial transactions. Some common network security models and types are listed on this slide: hidden Markov model, artificial neural network, identity consumption process, and identity management system. They may apply different mechanisms to detect and to prevent fraud, but each network security technology is important. In the slide that follows, we will look at a diagram of the identity consumption process and how it works. Identity consumption process. Look at the diagram. When a client makes a request to access a network or server, a token is sent for security check and account verification. The client must then pass both the security check and account verification before he or she can gain access to the server network or participate in a forum or even engage in some sort of business transactions. Risk management responsibility. The responsibility of ensuring secure and fraud-free transactions depends on whether or not payment card issuers have up-to-date card security. It also depends on whether or not system administrators are able to secure transaction networks with the latest security software. Consumers and customers also have a responsibility to educate themselves, about the threats and proliferation of electronic and internet-based transaction fraud. As consumers, we must engage in secure and responsible online behavior in order to this chart shows mean scores and likelihood of being a victim of online transaction fraud or someone else being a victim of fraud. High mean scores indicate high likelihood of fraud. Lower mean scores have lower risks of being victim of fraud. The mean scores were calculated at 3 levels of measurements: the baseline, intention, and follow-up. That's on the horizontal axis. On the vertical axis, we see the mean scores, and then as the key indicate, the blue one, mean score behavior, and That is it. This was done by Davison and Sellens 2010, and they conducted such a research. It's great. Yeah. So in conclusion, electronic and internet transaction fraud is real, and it can happen to anyone. Educate yourself about this threat. Recognize it when you see one. Protect yourself against scammers. Report online fraud to help stop at least someone from becoming a victim of scam. Thank you.